Our next panelist, Dr. Rachel Lovell, is a senior research associate from Case Western University in Ohio. Her research focuses on examining the impact and implications of violent behavior that is directed at women and girls, in particular, sexual assault, human sex trafficking, and intimate partner violence. She is a sociologist and a methodologist who conducts applied, collaborative, and community-based research. She works with law enforcement, community-based agencies, and public systems. Today over here, she will talk about the sexual assault kit backlog.
Good morning. For the last 3.5 years, I've been the lead researcher on a large action research project to examine unsubmitted sexual assault kits in Cuyahoga County, which, for those of you who don't know, is Cleveland, Ohio, in collaboration with the Cuyahoga County Sexual Assault Kit Task Force. My team and I serve as the independent research partners for this task force, which is currently following up via investigation and prosecution on the DNA testing of 7,000 rape kits. The task force has been extremely effective in its efforts. At about 2/3 of the way through their initiative, they've had more convictions resulting from these unsubmitted rape kits than any other jurisdiction in the nation. One such offender has been tied to 18 unsubmitted rape kits just in Northeast Ohio, and these are just the rapes we know about. Today, I'm here to highlight 2 key findings from this project. This research has been and continues to be funded by the DOJ's Bureau of Justice Assistance's Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, or easier to say, SAKI. This research is changing what we know about rape, the offenders who commit it, and the efficacy of testing rape kits, all of which demonstrates the need for continued funding of BJA's SAKI, as well as efforts to encourage and support victim reporting. But first, I have to talk about the state of unsubmitted rape kits nationwide. Nationwide, hundreds of thousands of rape kits have languished for decades, unsubmitted in evidence storage facilities. These are missed opportunities to identify unknown offenders, confirm the identities of known offenders, connect offenders to previously unsolved crimes, and possibly exonerate innocent suspects, as well as populate the federal DNA database. By not testing, victims have been denied justice, and rapists have been allowed the opportunity to continue to harm others. Past research has shown that approximately 2/3 of rapes go unreported, yet hundreds of thousands of kits from victims who did report have been collecting dust, many of which contain a definitive piece of evidence that links the offender to the victim, and in some cases is the only evidence that connects the victim and the offender. That's DNA. In early 2015, my research team and I began to analyze prosecutor case files from these now tested rape kits. To date, we've gathered nearly 1,000 of these cases. This is an incredibly unique database that captures extensive details about the sexual assault, the offender's criminal history, the victims, the investigations, and the prosecutions for an almost 20-year span of time. In fact, these data represent the largest known database of sexual assaults that capture this level of detail in the United States. Now on to the research. Our first key finding from this data: testing saves the community money, which is a bipartisan equal opportunity benefit. In 2016, we conducted a cost-benefit study analysis of SAKI in Cuyahoga County, which is cited in the U.S. House of Representatives pending appropriations bill. Our analysis found that as of January 2016, so it's 2.5 years now, Cuyahoga County had saved a net total of $38.7 million, or about $8,893 to be exact, per tested kit, with the savings coming, importantly, from investigating and prosecuting the offenders, thereby preventing future rapes. Thus, even if testing doesn't appeal to your better nature, these efforts can prevent rapes and save money. Second key finding from this initiative: serial offending is far more common than previous research suggests. A quarter of the kits from the initiative in Cuyahoga County have hit to at least one other kit in the initiative. In other words, a kit-to-kit match. And these are only other kits that were backlogged, that had never been tested, where victims reported, where they had a sack collected. The true scope of the serial sex offending is likely much higher. What's more, we'll call this 2B, many of these serial rapists are sexually assaulting both strangers and non-strangers. A fourth of the rapists with more than one kit in the initiative raped both a stranger and a non-stranger, which is counter how most people view serial rapists. And again, these are only the rapes we know about. For example, one offender was linked via DNA to a sexual assault where he was one of 4 offenders involved in the rape of a 13-year-old girl, a stranger, at a party. 2 months later, he's connected to the rape of his 3-year-old son. Another offender is linked to 3 kits in the initiative: a female, a stranger, a female, a current intimate partner, and a third was a 29-year-old male living in a group home. What's unique about looking at this is that these offenses were so different from each other that without DNA, they likely never would have been linked together. These examples speak to the power of DNA, the need to test all rape kits, not just stranger rapes, and support and encourage victim reporting. However, testing is the first step. Testing must be followed up with a thorough investigation or prosecution, otherwise the tested kit just becomes a sheet of paper in a case file. I will conclude with the ask. This effort must be adequately resourced. I urge you to continue to fully fund the Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, an extremely important, effective initiative. In Cuyahoga County alone, this funding has provided justice to thousands of forgotten victims and led to the prosecutions of hundreds of rapists, many of which are serial rapists. But this work can only continue if the appropriations bill passes. Additionally, I urge you to continue to fiscally support strong research by independent evaluators, such as what has been detailed here today and recommended in the House's pending appropriations bill. This type of research is vital to establishing best practices and ensuring systemic change so that no new backlog develops. Thank you for your time here today. I welcome the opportunity to work with your offices to identify how we might leverage our research and your incredible support to move this work forward. Thank you.